Do you know what is logs and monitoring? In Linux, logs are records of the events that happen inside the system. In simple words, logs are like the recorder that records everything happening in your system. If you're coming from Windows, this is similar to Windows Event Viewer. In Linux, logs record system activity, user activity, errors, security events, and application behavior. Now you might ask, why are logs so important? Let's make this practical. Imagine your system freezes while you're running a program, or your server crashes, or you see a sudden error on your system, or you leave your system for 10 minutes and something feels wrong. So instead of guessing and instead of blaming someone, this is what you're supposed to do. You have to check the logs, which it helps you monitor system health, investigate crashes, track security issues, understand what happened in the past, and finally debug the problems. So logs tell the truth. Now you might ask, where are the logs located in your system? Well, if you ask this question in the 1990s, the answer would be simple. Almost everything was in var logs directory. But modern Linux systems are different. Today, apart of finding the system logs in var log, we could also use systemd, which includes journalctl. So now logs can exist both in var log, which is like the traditional text logs, and also inside the systemd journal, viewed using journalctl. Now we do have different types of logs, which will explain some of them in this video. We have system logs, we have authentication and security logs, we have web server logs, we have package manager logs, and also we have systemd journal or modern logging, which instead of using the plain text logs, modern system store logs in a binary journal. The file types and the necessary commands for all these types of logs are mentioned below. Now there are two important types of logs, which is called system logs and application logs. System logs record events related to operating system, kernel, hardware, core services, and authentication. So in general, they show what is happening inside the operating system itself. Examples could be boot messages, driver errors, memory issues, and service start and stop events. And they're accessible via var logs and journalctl. Second, we have application logs. Unlike system logs, which are storing the system activity, application logs are generated by the specific software. They record events related only to that application. Let's take an example here. If you want to check what happened inside a web server or database, you check its application logs, which they show you stack traces, database errors, timeout issues, and permission errors. Application logs help you debug a specific program. Now the question might arise that how admins debug the system using logs. So real debugging follows a structure which consists of different steps. Step 1 is to identify the problem area and to understand whether this is a system issue or an application issue. Step 2 is to check the right logs. For system problems, we use the following commands, which by using the commands, we could look for failed services, permission errors, and dependency failure. And for the application problems, we use the following commands, which by using these commands, we could look for stack traces, DB connection failure, and timeout errors. In step 3, after checking the right logs, we have to look at the very recent logs first. So instead of opening full files, we could just use the following command, which shows live updates on the system. Step 4 is to reproduce the issue while watching logs. After running the following command to see the live logs, we have to check the live logs using the following command. We have to perform the action in a browser and we have to watch what appears. In other words, user action is causing the log output. That's real debugging. Now the next step is to filter smartly. So instead of reading 10,000 lines, we could use the following command, which we could filter time, services, severity, and keywords. Step 6 is to understand log levels. So most logs use levels like debug, info, warning, error, and critical. So admins focus first on error and critical log levels.